Alright everyone, Supreme Kami over here. So I want to do this, I want to talk about the war gear with you guys over here in a more of like a discussion type video. Obviously I don't have the means and necessary resources to get my own personal 4-star gear over here. So I want to treat this video as more like prepare you guys to like what do I like, what I think is going to be a good synergy in terms of good war tags gear that you want to be focusing on, because in terms of getting it to the next rarity, which is going to be the 4-star, it's going to take a lot more resources. So I feel like, I just want to prepare this video right now so you guys can just kind of think ahead right now. All right, in terms of my overall build, what is going to be a good war tag that I'm currently running that I can potentially use a good war gear piece over here. So on this over here, I did also make a Excel sheet, just kind of doing a little bit of a color coding. What do I think is going to be good, good or bad or whatnot. Red is going to be something I'm not going to be recommending in terms of getting a gear. Not to say that the actual the word tag is bad. It's more like, there's going to be so many synergy and so many like cohesiveness that I feel like they're not going to be the best. The one that I colored it as yellow, they're more like a neutral depending on what kind of build you guys are looking at. Can be good, because of the percentage it's giving and all that good stuff. And then green is going to be the good ones that I feel like can be a good option for your build. And then I'm actually going to be looking at this in tangent of like not as a as a general player who can invest into a good build and all that good stuff over here. So I do want to talk about in terms of getting the actual what are going to be the requirement, what are going to be the resources that is needed in order to upgrade to the latest gear over here, the 4-star version of it. I think the most importantly I want to talk about is going to be the work rate over here. I did consult with people already, and they did tell me that in order to get up to it as gray over here, you're gonna need a total of 35 parts up here. So right now, in terms of commander, I think commander is probably my highest so far. So I need 10 more pieces in order to get up to S grade, which is a huge investment, right? Obviously, getting enough parts to upgrade to getting 35 parts to level 99 is going to be another problem, and then getting a parts to be in general, that's going to be another big factor. There's currently 2 word tag that I have on the left hand side that is not formable at all. That is going to be pro tag over here. There's no way of forming that at all. And then also Gundam type, which I did label them as red because Gundam type is kind of overshadow. So these 2 are the only word tag that we are not able to form. What I mean by forming is if you actually go over to the blueprint over here, there's a plethora of parts you can definitely pick up for free. You're not really for free, but you do need a little bit of some scraps over here. What I mean, these are easy to form up over here. You guys can see that. So here's a list of word tag that is applicable in terms of getting any of this part. So of all these 20 word tags over here, pro tag and Gundam type are not listed in here, so that's why I say they're not formable. Let's say I want to, for example, work on my ace exclusive over here. I can definitely, for example, if you guys don't have any warfare parts upgraded, for example, you can definitely buy out, I don't know how many copies you will need, right? You can definitely buy out enough copies to make 35 to level 99, which is, I would say this is hypothetically not really possible. Hopefully you guys do have some good warfare parts stacked up in order to kind of make this project work. That's why every week when we do have let's say new bingo set, I always do recommend people or players in general trying to pick up at least trying to get your part up to portrait level 10 or EXP level 10, but you don't really have to upgrade them to level 99 for instant, right? It's more like upgrade them as you kind of go along, or upgrade them as you really need them. So this kind of cover that right here as well. So that's why what I mean by farming mode, this is going to be a place that you can farm them out easily. In terms of what is the purpose of doing this video, because in order to upgrade to the next rarity, we can just kind of take a look at how many of these specific requirements you need. We kind of covered that already. So you're gonna need 2 of the blue word tags over here, so that's gonna be a big problem. But even these over here, these requirement, right? You're gonna need 100 specific word tag piece over here, so you're gonna need 100. So getting this over here, hopefully you guys everyone is in a crew. So in order to pick up these materials, you have to be in crew. Every week in terms of crew shop, you can pick up 10 to 30 depending on what kind of work or job crew grade you guys are looking at. So if you guys are able to consistently get up to, I did the calculation already, you're gonna need a total of 240 for both pieces over here. That is calculating forming the like this one over here. So yeah, you're gonna need a total of 240 pieces over here. So this one over here, you can say if you are in a crew that does not really work well together, there's a lack of communication, not enough people are feeding into the job to the crew shop grade, you guys can be looking at somewhere around like at the lowest 24 weeks. That is how long that will approximately take if your crew is unable to get up to the let's say anywhere between, I don't know, let's say if your crew can get up to like a C grade every other week if possible. The lowest is going to be 24 weeks, and then the fastest, if your crew is able to accumulate grade A every week, you guys can be looking at around 8 weeks, or so. So that's going to be, it's still take a while, right? That is going to take at least 2 months or so. I'm just including everything in total, but if you guys do already have one of the blue piece already, you guys should be in better hands already. So in order to pick up a piece is gonna cost you 10 million. So all in all, you can be looking at around 240 million just to be picking up this over here. In terms of these over here, they're not too expensive. They're more of like picking this one up is gonna be under the welfare exchange shop. So hopefully you guys are picking up every week over here. So in terms of now talking about the actual gears over here, or the specific word tags over here, why I label what they label. So I'm just gonna actually go over to some of my builds over here, just kind of let you give you guys just a little bit more insight. So what I mean in terms of my shop build, I guess I'll just go over to my shop build real quick. What I mean by for example, I have commanders in my gear over here. Why would I pick commander, for example, over let's say ace exclusive, or let's say Gundam type, for example? Because on paper, let me see. Well, on paper, what this gear actually gives us over here, in terms of the commander. Currently, I do have the 3-star version, but I did list it out in terms of the 4-star version. It's going to be 180%, so we can retrospectively compare to, let's say, Ace exclusive, or let's say Gundam type. Gundam type is gonna be in the same realm, but actually Gundam type on paper over here, I'm kind of like going all over the place, but hopefully bear with me over here as I'm trying to explain a little bit over here. If you guys do know already, Commander actually gives 10% shot attack and then 5% beam resistance over here, while Gundam type on the other hand only give 5% over here. So although they both give 180%, but if you guys do the math real quick over here, it's actually going to be 5% plus, whoops, let me actually do it on here. So it's actually going to be 10% plus. It's going to be an addition, not a multiplication. I know that prior to that, I think a lot of people were circulating is actually a multiplication, which is wrong. The map itself is not wrong, but like what is actually coded in game is actually this method over here. You guys do see there is the actual plus symbol over here. I didn't initially realize that. I should, right? It's actually a plus. So it's actually going to be this one below here. So you're looking at about 190, right? 190% increases as you compare to this one, for example, right? Although it's giving it 180, but this one is actually only going to be 5%. So you're going to be looking at 185, for example, right? So that's why that 5%, that extra 5% is going to make a difference. But now talk about how it's actually coded into the game. You guys, in terms of the mathematical or the technical side of this, how I kind of talk to some other people already. We can kind of write this as this over here, a sequence. We don't want this as multiplication. We want this as actual non-specific. Can we do this as a whole number, please? I mean, I guess no, that's not gonna work. It's gonna be this actually. So how I kind of figured this out, obviously I consulted with other people because like I did not know. I never wanted to talk, well, not never. I didn't want to talk about this topic yet because I was really unfamiliar with how they were coding it in game. So I can't really say, oh, this word tag is good, this word tag is better, because I don't actually know how it works. But now I kind of do. So how I kind of like in terms of how it's actually presented, it's actually multiplied like this. So in terms of the actual whole formula, it's complicated. But anyways, this is what we're looking at. So that's why in terms of both of these having the same over here, Commander is gonna outshine Gunner type by slightly, by 5%, like on here, 5%. So that's why we're using that. So that's why the overall build, I'm not using Ace exclusive. Ace exclusive is only going to be giving me what 130 in total, so that we're not using that. So 120. So that's why I listed it as red. It's not good. We don't want to use that. And then that's why I listed out as commander. It's gonna be, I give commander a neutral just because of the fact that not a lot of people have what I have on here. Because in order to have commander, for example, you really have to be having all the kind of you really have to have all the Sokai tier parts, and then you also have to have all the Gundam battle festival parts. So that's why I'm not gonna be my recommendation. This is by no means unable to do. So that's why, right? We can just kind of go over to the shop real quick. In terms of permanent, there's literally only 3 parts in here that has commander tag, which is unacceptable. So that's why I'm not. But although it's the best one to be looking at in terms of like what is the parameter given from those parts, but it's impossible to do it. So I'm not going to recommend something that is not gonna be free to play friendly, right? So that's why this one I give it a neutral. If you guys do have the necessary parts to build it, obviously more power to your hand. But I'm not. That's not gonna be top on my choice right here. So there's only 3, so that's not good. So all in all, what I'm trying to say right here in terms of 3 active word tag, you want to pick a gear. For example, my build over here, I'm using these 3 over here. So what you want to basically do is pick something within whatever active word tag you have that has the highest percentage, right? I think that should have been the easiest message to get across the board. So I have these 3 over here. So I gotta pick something that's the easiest for me or give me the highest percentage, and that came to be commander tag over here. So in terms of some I am gonna be recommending, it's actually gonna be mid-range and then Federation, because from going through all the lists over here, we have the most amount of parts that I feel like a lot of general players can make a extremely good build. You're also gonna be getting a 240%. So that's why I'm gonna give them a recommendation as well. And plus, you're gonna be getting a flat boosting of 3000 to both melee and shot. 3000 is actually gonna work a lot because all these over here, all the gears over here is gonna take into effects before you apply the actual war tech percentage over here. So in terms of like racing 10%, shot attack, and racing 5% beam resistance, they actually get calculated after all these all these are taken into consideration. So that's why you will definitely see a higher if that is how it actually works. I'm still in the know-how, like trying to reach a conclusion of how the actual calculation works, but I do know for a fact that all the gears, like if for example I use this gear right here, whatever calculation is going to take into effects prior to apply any of the word tags. So I know it's a little bit hard to kind of take in. I like, for me it was. So hopefully you guys are kind of following along right here. So right now we'll actually kind of talk about what kind of good parts we can be looking at. Like, let's say in the likes of like mid-range, long range, and then Federation. All the rest, I feel like they're just not good synergy. It's really hard to build around them. Not to talk about these 2, right? These are good, good partners obviously with any shot build, but their percentage is too low. Like, no, we're not doing that. This one is good, but gym type does not have good representation, so we're not doing that at all. So if I filter parts by, I'm gonna do mid-range first. I'm just gonna show you guys what we have for mid-range over here. So in terms of mid-range, we actually do have a little bit of a decent, soul cap parts, but I feel like soul cap parts is a gray area, or an area that it's just not a lot of people might have these parts. But if we go over to the permanent style over here, we do have a good chunks of part that I feel like a lot of people can easily get their hands on over here. So we can just kind of talk about, kind of scroll down a little bit over here. You have X divider over here. I think yeah, X divider over here, that's the standard parts. We have the fusion. I believe this one is a okay, so this one is going to be a Soka parts. We're not going to look at that. Pale Rider is gonna be a big scale over here, so that can definitely give you a good hands-on, a good parts to be printing. Obviously, Legatus over here, good option as well. Blue frame is not gonna be a good option, is it? No, blue frame, yeah, the blue frame is definitely good. So that's why we do have plenty of parts to be looking at, right? So that's that. We'll take a look into long range over here, for example. Long, long range over here. Let me see. Long range does have good options as well, actually. So that's why I'm recommending this right here. And look at that. We have a good roster over here. Dynamis, extremely good. Toggies, Endless War version, also pretty good. In terms of looking at the limit side, we actually do have a plentiful over here. You can look at XMO, Wingen and Pro Zero. So those are all pretty good options as well. But those are definitely going to be something not everyone will have, but I would say in terms of the permanent side, this one is going to be slightly easier to kind of satisfy in terms of looking at the general perspective of what people might have. So that's why I will recommend these two for sure. These two are something that you can definitely kind of form up, alongside. You don't have to form up one and then the other. You can kind of form up both of them together, depending on like what kind of capital you guys are looking at. Like I said again, forming up these gears is gonna cost you a lot. I believe it's 1 million a piece, and maybe pick up 10. That's gonna be 10 million. I think I said that wrong, so I'm probably gonna make a little bit edit in the front. It's gonna cost you 1 million a piece, so that's why it's gonna be a little bit expensive if you add everything together, right? In terms of Federation, I believe Federation. Let me see. Federation is gonna be over here. Federation also does have some pretty good part. I feel like Federation is a lot more better just because you have a little bit more of a big scale, so you can definitely get scale in a higher stat all in all. You do also have, let's scroll down a little bit over here. We also do have Pale Rider over here, so that's gonna be good. The big scale RA72, so that's gonna be a good option right there as well. So that's why with these parts presented to you guys over here, I feel like these three over here are definitely going to be a good option to be a workaround over here. So now let's talk about the melee aspect over here. So I'm gonna go over to my build real quick, just to give you guys a rundown on why I picked what I picked. So in terms of, let's see, melee build over here. Oh, not this one. So this is currently my melee build, and then in terms of the word tag piece I've currently used right now, what did I use right here? In terms of what I'm using right here, I'm actually using a pro tag. I'll probably so pro tag at 3 stars is only gonna be 100%. But if you guys take a look at my overall word tag wise over here, these 3 word tag are way too common, so that's why they are unfortunately gonna get shafted in terms of the percentage increases over here. So pro tag, close combat, and then let's say high firepower. These are my main tag, and all 3 of them actually share 120%. So that's why I am going to be recommending, like, this one's going to be a solid option. I give it a neutral just because depending on, like, you know what, I'll actually give this one a green, just because we do have plenty of good options. I would say in terms of standard, I think we do have plenty of options as well. This one over here is going to be underdog for sure, because 240%, please, I'll take that. I'll take that. And obviously, I feel like Mobile Fighter is definitely going to dominate over anything else, because if I can give you guys another quick example over here, I actually did manage to build out exactly the same melee attack stat using, let's say, Mobile Fighter. So if we do a quick comparison from Mobile Fighter to Pro Tag, I'm actually losing at around 4,000%. 4,000%? What? No. 4,000 stat over here. So that is going to be determining factor. So I feel like, Mobile Fighter is definitely going to be the biggest winner over here. Even like if you take a look, 60% less over here. But I feel like in tangent with, like, the cohesiveness, the synergy with, like, the build, I feel like this is gonna be a sure win for sure. Yeah. So like Amphibious, although it's gonna be giving it a 240%, there's just not. There's no viable way. There's not cohesiveness. There's no synergy with, like, any melee part. So that's why we're not doing that. These two is not gonna be worth mentioning because it's only gonna be 120%. So that's a big no-no as well. And these two are only like for whatever for for their stat, they're only giving out 5%, so you are going to be looking at 125, while this one's going to be 130. So that's why if you are going to be picking, like if you have no other option, you have to pick in between like any of these three. You will have to go with Pro Tag just because the base value is going to be a little bit more. So in terms of these one over here, I give them a conditional, a neutral, just because you can definitely build out a good Xian type for sure. You can be looking at a 245% increases, which is good, not bad for sure. This one over here is gonna be, what is it? I feel like Federation in terms of melee aspect does not. I don't know. I feel like it's more for like a shooter type build for what I see in terms of the roster that we have. So I give it a conditional over here. You can definitely work on this over here, but I feel like these three, these three will definitely be the breadwinner over here. So that's that. It's unfortunate. This build, just really unfortunate that all these three were tagged right here has the words over here. So now we can just kind of talk about what kind of part selection we have in terms of the good stuff over here. Good stuff. Let's actually start with Mobile Fighter. I feel like that's probably the one I am going to be recommending. In terms of Mobile Fighter, we actually do have a extremely limited roster to be looking at so far. In terms of Mobile Fighter, you really have to have Master Gundam. I feel like if you have the Master Gundam on base, you can definitely like you're pretty set. You will basically need the head of the Master Gundam. Basically, if you want to make a good, let's say a free-to-play Mobile Fighter build, you definitely have to have Master Gundam set. I feel like if you have that, you can definitely use the work gear piece, no problem. You don't even have to look at like any of the other one, just because of the roster over here. Master Gundam, yeah, Master Gundam for sure. And then you guys can also definitely look at the Soul Guide tier, Burning Gundam. Yeah, that's gonna be a good choice as well. But these fillers over here, Dragon Gundam, Rose Gundam, as well as Bolt, and then as Master Gundam, I feel like those are good supplementary as well, but they're not gonna offer as much as, let's say, Master Gundam. Because Master Gundam, you are definitely gonna have to substar some other stuff, right? Just like in my example over here. Let me see. In terms of what I use over here, what I use for my over here, did I use any Master Gundam part? I actually did, right? Yeah, Master Gundam chest over here. And then for the leg, I use Burning Gundam, but I can definitely use Master Gundam if I needed to. And then backpack, I used it to Blazing, but I can definitely use Master Gundam, etc, etc, right? So basically, you just want the Master Gundam as the word tag foundation. Whoops. My cord, no. Okay, we're back. So you just want the Master Gundam as the core, and then you guys can definitely branch out to different parts. Definitely try to get Pro Tag and close combat, high power, you name it, right? So that's kind of like the general rundown over here. And then if you're talking about, let's say, I don't know, if we talk about Transformer, I don't even know if Transformer has good. Depending on what we find over here, if there's not a good option, I'll definitely give it like not a good option right here. Okay, we definitely does not. So I will actually change this one to a conditional, just because I feel like we don't have good standard parts to be looking at. We definitely do have some good stuff for the limited side, but these are parts that people would have to summon on, and I feel like it's not fair to say, oh, this one is good, just because we're looking simply at the, I don't know, let's say, what is it? Just look at the limited part. So that's why I'm gonna give this one a conditional. This one's definitely good if you guys are able to form at least some good parts of it. So yeah, unfortunately we don't have a good roster for standard parts over here, or let's say parts that is gonna be easy to form up. That's unfortunate, right? So in terms of high mobility, I hope high mobility can give me a little bit of a better roster over here. Let's see. Okay, let's see. Do we have anything good? Ooh, okay, I don't know. Do we? Maybe? Oh no. Oh no! We might not. Yeah, we actually did not. Oh, no. That's a false statement right there. We actually do, because you also have the big skill Xia, which is gonna be good. You can also look at L Strike. That's gonna provide a little bit of a better support. So I feel like high mobility and Mobile Fighter can definitely be the better ones to be looking at. If you guys are looking at builds such as like Pro Tag, Close Combat, and high mobility, you can definitely sneak in that high mobility work gear over here, and you'll work just fine. So in terms of limited side, yeah, we definitely have some good limited side, but I'm not gonna recommend anything under the limited side just because I don't know how many people have certain parts. So that's why I am going to only be recommending parts that are gonna be standard parts over here, like the big scale Ixia, like the L stripe big scale, so even Wingdom, right? So that's gonna be pretty much it. I just want to fill you guys in on like what do I think, you know, with the parts given to us over here, what I think is gonna be good option. Do let me know like currently what kind of work gear like rarity you guys are running at, and what kind of like let me know the rarity you guys are using, and do let me know what kind of Vortex gears you guys are using for shot build and melee build over here. So I think that is pretty much what I do have to say over here. So hopefully this information is not too foreign. It's not too hard to kind of take in. I just want to make this video right here to kind of like fill you guys in, just for preparation, right? I guess the last thing to just kind of really go over right now is going to the crew real quick. All right, so we are at the crew shop already. As you guys can see that I have picked up everything already. There's definitely work gear pairs that I'm not going to be picking up as well. I'm picking up the other ones simply because I am, you know, preparing for some upcoming arena stuff over here, which I have not covered in here. If I were to cover everything in regards to, let's say, arena build, you know, I can definitely do that in another video. But I feel like in terms of preparing for arena, that's gonna be a different topic for another day, obviously, which I can, you know, definitely cover. Some pieces you definitely have to pick up is gonna be the work gear piece over here, because you will also need 240 pieces as well. So that's gonna be something you want to pick up every week for sure. I have already picked up Pro Tag over here, and how much did it cost? 10 million. Yeah, 10 million for 10 pieces is a big cap over here. So hopefully you guys can kind of like manage kind of like your capitals over here and pick up pieces that is going to be essential to you to begin with. You can definitely pick up multiple per time, but you know, you do have to manage like what kind of like capital you guys are looking at as well. And then last but not least, I will recommend you guys pick this up every week for sure. Pick this one over here. Is it this one? Where's it at? I think it's this one over here, right? Make sure you guys are picking up this every week over here, because this is gonna be another method of forming up the work gear pieces over here. So that is gonna be it for today over here. So hopefully you guys you know, can jot down some note over here and just kind of make a preparation of like what kind of job gear piece that, or no, work gear piece that you want to be working on over here. So with that being said, that is gonna be pretty much it for this video over here, and then I'll catch you guys all on the next one.